What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 2 of the Barely Indian podcast. Again, Nisha's starting off the episode laughing.
I don't know what to do,
What's
man. It just
Is
seems
it awkward?
every time you introduce it, it just still feels awkward, dude. Even
Wow.
like the first time I was like, this is wow. Introducing yourself. How full of yourself are you?
Hey, that's how you got to start it off. You got to let the people know who you are. My name
Yeah.
is Jerome. This is my co-host, Nish, and we are here to talk to you as the Barely Indian boys today. Nisha, I noticed that you switched your room around a little bit.
Dude, I got so much heat from people like at work and like all these like my sister. I was like, first of all, why do you have bad lighting in your room? Second of all, why is your room a mess? So I was like, okay, let me just like rearrange all my furniture in my room for these people.
You're really
And
not
like
even in like the same location at all. Did you completely move your desk?
I moved my laptop, so like it used to
Gotcha.
face that way. Now it's
Yeah.
just facing this way, so I can get light. And
I like
I clean my bed. And you like that painting? Shout out to my
Yeah.
cousin Dara for painting it and giving it to me when I went to go visit her in Chicago.
I like the painting. I like
Yeah,
that you have a clean like nothingness in all of your room and then you just have one little painting. I
yeah. And
also
it's not
have
even hung up.
anything.
It's like leaning against my bed frame. So that's an extra plus.
Hey, that's elegant looking. That's
There
the
we
word I
go.
was going for. I have nothing. We've been packing today. So
You're
today's
moving
like
next week, right?
I know, yeah, Friday. Friday's the day we're moving. So we had to take down the shoe wall.
Dang.
I had to take my computer down off this desk. Everything's gone, man.
What a birthday present. You're moving like 4 more hours further
I
away from
know.
me.
I know.
Wow.
I'm
Thanks,
sorry.
man.
I'm
It's
sorry.
all
For
good.
those that didn't know, Nisha's birthday's coming up, so wish him a happy birthday. August 28th.
There we go. Jerome's
Just
also moving to Durham to start his MBA on that same day. So
That's true. I'm
wish him the
also
best of luck.
moving on the same day.
Yeah.
But what is our topic for the day, Nish?
Uh, the reason why we don't have more Indian friends.
It's very true. We want to talk this week about how we grew up and how many Indian friends we have, or I guess better, the lack of Indian friends that we had growing up. Um, and yeah, kind of give me a rundown of your experience growing up. Let's start when you were like younger, and then eventually we can work into high school, and then eventually you can go into college and how we met and became friends.
Yeah. So like growing up, I grew up with like all my cousins because my dad has 5 brothers. So all of us were in Chicago, and we all basically lived in like a 30-mile radius. So my cousins were my friends growing up, like outside of
That sounds
school.
that sounds awesome.
Like I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Even now we're still pretty close with each other and everything.
yeah.
But then we like ever since we moved out of Chicago, it was just kind of like we were always around like Caucasian white people and like Mexicans and like African Americans and everything. So like I think growing up like after elementary school, I never just went to school with Indian people. So I just never had Indian friends.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely the same way because, after we left India, we moved to Japan. Then we moved here when I was about 6 years old. So I started first grade here. And out of my immediate family, or I guess extended family, like, none of my cousins really live here. And so I grew up not really interacting with my cousins very often. It was more like we would interact with each other if we went to India for whatever reason. But for the most part, we didn't even talk. And, back then, like Facebook wasn't even a thing. So we really didn't even like, what are you going to do? Email them? You know what I mean? Like we would never do anything like that. And I remember going into elementary school, it was hard for me specifically because I didn't know any English. And
Idiot.
yeah, exactly. So since I didn't know any English, um, I had a lot more Japanese friends at that time than anything else, you know. Um, but as I started to get a little older, living in Maryville, there were still not very many Indian kids around, you know. And I don't know how it was for you. I know you said you kind of grew up with your cousins around all the time, but for me, there was one other Indian family that lived in like the apartment complex we lived in. Um, and we were kind of sort of friends, but not really. Our parents were more friends than like we were, I think we happened to be in the same grade maybe, but it was more that our parents were friends. And then that, like I said last week, there was an Indian community in Knoxville. So anytime we'd hang out with people in Knoxville, we would kind of hang out with their kids, I guess. But for the most part, they were all way younger than I was. Like I remember when I was like 10, like they were just now starting to have kids, most of that crowd. So there was really maybe one, two families that had kids that were around our age. And I mean, we always had a great time whenever we were around each other, but I wouldn't really say we were super close, We didn't really talk other than at whatever event that we were at.
Yeah, and that was kind of like us. Like even when we would get together, as we like moved further away from family, I wouldn't necessarily like talk to my cousins or anything, or like see them unless it was like at someone's wedding or like a baby shower, or just like we just happened to run into each other for some special event. But like it's weird because like in the past like 4 years, I'd say I've gotten really close with my cousins. So like my cousins are, I would say, like my Indian friends or whatever you want to call it. But still, like even in college, I think I had this kind of like preconceived notion that like based on my experiences was like Indian people were just snooty and just like full of
Uh-oh.
themselves. Just
Uh-oh.
like just
The
getting out there,
gloves
man.
the gloves
Let's
are
just go
coming
there.
off.
Let's just go there, But like I just always thought like Indian people were just like full of themselves, and like it was always the ones that like they always looked down on everyone else. So I was like, you know what, man, I don't like Indian people. I'm just gonna do my
Yeah.
own thing. So like I think I didn't even know you until junior year of college, and it was
Yeah.
because we had like mutual friends, Marcus, like introduced us or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were roommates after that, and it was fine. But I like strictly went out of my way to not make Indian friends. It was weird because I was
No,
like, no, screw these people.
no, it makes sense because like I know growing up, like I was talking about, a lot of the Indian kids, I guess when I got to the age of like, oh, okay, I understand what like I want out of a friend kind of is, which I don't know, really isn't until like high school or maybe even college. Like my best friend growing up was an African American kid, and I think he got like mistaken for Indian a lot because he was mixed. And I actually have a funny story. So there was this time when we were in high school, and I'm sure a lot of people that are listening know who I'm talking about, but if you don't, it's Tristan. Just throw his name out there. Anyway, he so there was this one time in high school when there was this Indian kid he was going to transfer to our school. And I think they were moving from like Pennsylvania or something. I don't remember exactly, but they had come down one week to look at houses, whatever, and they had made like some sort of schedule with the school to let him come and like shadow some kids. And so the guidance counselor had picked like three kids that he could shadow, one of them being me and another one being Tristan. And so he came and like he like went to one of my classes with me, and then like went with another kid to another one of his classes, and then he went to Tristan to one of his classes. And at the end of the school day, we like all went to the guidance office to go meet his parents and like talk to him and stuff. And the guidance counselor was like, "Yeah, we let so and so shadow you guys today because you guys are all Indian." and
I
and
bet
just
Tristan was offended by that.
he was just like, "I'm not Indian. I'm African American."
Same thing, same
Yeah,
thing.
it was so funny, man. But no, yeah, going back to what you were saying, I do agree with you because my first experience, like trying to make Indian friends of my own, was kind of like what you're saying, like in college. And my sister had introduced me to like a lot of Indian kids at UT. There was like that Indian American Association. I don't know if you ever did it. I don't
I
think you
never did it.
did.
I got like asked to join it. I was in the
Yeah.
UC one day, just random like eating lunch or something, and this chick came up to me and was like, "Hey, you should join the like I haven't seen you around. Like you should join like the Indian American Association." I was like, "Okay, cool. You're the type of people I'm trying to avoid. So thanks for letting me know where not to go." So I was like completely
Yeah.
like, hey, "Thanks for bringing up this opportunity. I'm definitely not going to do that." But like, I don't know. It seems like I don't want to say like a missed opportunity or whatever, but it would have been kind of cool just to see. Like, I don't think I would have partaken in a lot of the events,
Yeah.
like the dancing and like everything. But
Yeah, and see, like my sister, like I said, she was the one that introduced me to it, and she did do that stuff. And so it was like it was really fun for her specifically because she did the dancing and like, helped plan the events and stuff like that. But I wasn't interested in that stuff. I remember I went to like their first meeting of the year or something, and they were just talking about a bunch of stuff. And um, I don't remember who specifically it was I was talking to, but just like you're saying, I just got that vibe of like, oh, these people are looking down on me.
yeah,
And I don't even know if it was me specifically, but like the conversations I had, it was like these people are looking down on people that I would consider my friends. And
yeah.
I
Did
just got that, I don't know.
did they even have like other South Indians in there? I feel like most of them were like Northern Indians in there.
Most of them are Northern Indian, and I don't know
Yeah,
why that is, but
because
I
we're the
don't
best.
know. False.
True.
But I don't remember. I
All
don't
I'm
remember if
saying
there were
is
South
Northern
Indians or not.
Indians produce more doctors and engineers. What do you guys have?
How do you
Like,
know that? How do you know that?
because no, everyone knows Patel is like Dr. Patel. What do you like? No one says like Dr. Voss. Oh, I know who that is. Like,
No,
get the
but
heck out of
uh,
here.
yeah, but the only reason there's so many Dr. Patels is because there's just like out of the billion people in India, like 500,000 are Patels.
Out of the billion, 500,000, less than 500,000 out of the billion are
Oh, oops,
Patels.
oops.
Yeah, you idiot. This is why you're not a doctor. You
500
can't even do
million, 500
simple math.
million.
You can't even do simple math.
Also,
Idiot.
we're probably offending so many people right now.
It's fine. Maybe they'll think this funny. That's the population or the majority that we're trying to like gear towards anyway.
Yeah.
Those are the viewers we want.
500 million, 500 million. There are
Yeah.
just a lot of Patels, okay? That was my
Yeah.
point. My
A lot of
point being there's a
successful
lot of
Patels.
Patels. Okay, what happened to you?
What happened to me? My sister's a doctor. I take pride in having a sister who's a doctor. I'm
Yeah, but
basically like I'm just like by my last name. If I want to be like, yeah, I'm a doctor, no one's gonna question me. I can
you
be like,
know,
yeah, I'm Dr. Patel. I can put on a white coat. No one's gonna say anything. You put on a white coat, they're gonna be like, I don't know about this
no, no,
kid.
no, no. The other day, I called someone like at work just randomly out of nowhere. Um, I can't remember what it was for, but I had to talk to him. They were like an Indian person, and like 20 minutes into the conversation, I said something about India, and he was like, "Wait, you're Indian?" And I was like, yeah."
Not
And he was
African
like,
American.
"I would never have known from your name." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "Well, Vaz, that's not an Indian name." And I was like, "Well, okay, that's true." And then I tried to like educate him about like,
It's not true. You're literally from India. What do you mean? Yeah, you're true. You just told the man that he's correct about saying Vaz isn't an Indian name when you're from
it's
India.
not, well, okay, I think it's like a Spanish name, like something about
So you're
conquistadors and
Mexican. You're not even
what?
true Indian. Do we need to
No.
do like barely
Oh,
Indian and
oh my
Mexican
gosh.
now?
No, no, no. Hold on. Pause. Bring it back. So it was something about like Spanish conquistadors, and that's why like I'm Catholic. And so we have like Spanish last name plus like my dad's name's Antonio. That's a very Spanish name. It's not an Indian name.
What's your mom's name?
Okay, she has a very Indian name. Her name's Amuda.
There we go.
What are your parents' names?
Oh,
Let's
let's
just
not get into this. No, no, we're not doing this.
speaking of being like Dr. Patel, you should just change your first name to Doctor.
That might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
No, listen. So then instead of being Niche Patel, you would just be Dr. Patel. So then if
I'm
they
just
were
gonna
like,
name. Should I just name my kid Doctor then?
yes, you
Yeah.
should. Then he could be like, one day he could be Doctor Doctor.
I'm pretty sure when you become a doctor, they don't say your first name, so you wouldn't be Doctor Doctor.
What
It would
if
just be
what if
Doctor Patel.
but what if you had an MD and you had a PhD?
And I'm sure like the M. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you
You
would
could
still
be
be a
Doctor
doctor.
Doc. No, you could be Doctor Doctor if
No
you really
one,
wanted to.
no. If you really wanted to and be full of yourself, but those are the type of people that we again try to avoid.
Man, this has gotten so sideways already. We're gonna have to cut all of this out.
No, we're not.
Just kidding. I'm not gonna cut it out.
Then why don't you bring it up? Way to ruin it.
But
Jesus.
okay, going back to Indian kids and making Indian friends. Like, so what were we talking about? We were talking about the Indian American Association at UT.
Yeah.
So yeah, like after meeting them once, and if any of you guys are watching, hey, I had a great time at your picnic. Thank you. But I'm just saying I got the vibe that I got from a lot of them was like, wow, these kids are really snooty and I don't feel like I'm that way. So I never had the urge to like go back, you know. Plus, I don't know about you, the vibe that I got from college age Indian kids was that all they cared about was like partying and drinking and that
That's
kind of
because
stuff.
like all of our parents are strict as hell, so we don't like do anything like that during high school.
I mean,
Could you imagine going home and like just like when you were like 16, going back to the house and just being hammered?
no,
My
because I
dad would have
never
like
did that.
exactly. That's because like your dad would have beat the crap out of you.
My parents always had like alcohol in the house, but I don't know. I think they were a lot less strict than most Indian parents in the sense that like, say Thanksgiving or something, um, when my sister was like 17 or 18, my mom would be like, okay, do you want like a sip of my wine or do you want
Dude, you're
like a
just
little small
criminalizing your mom right
glass?
now.
I know this is bad.
Your mom's going to jail. I hope you
Sorry.
know this.
Sorry, mom.
Sorry,
Sorry.
Amanda.
Amuda.
Amuda, my bad, dude. It's South
Gosh.
Indian. I don't know how to
Yeah, you don't
pronounce
know how to
South
pronounce
Indian.
South Indian?
Yeah. But
But
no, I think a majority of it is that one, like Indian kids during like high school and stuff like that, their parents are like super strict and don't let them do anything.
yeah.
So like when they get to college, they're like, "Oh, freedom! I can do anything I want," and they take it to the extreme.
Yeah, they freak
And
out.
second, I feel like daughters and all my cousins can probably like relate to this because most of my cousins are females, but like the daughters get like even more just like told that they can't do
Oh,
anything and
that's
whatnot.
so
The
true,
the boys
dude.
get the boys get to do like anything they want pretty much. It's
Yeah.
wild, and like
Yeah.
the daughters almost get like screwed over. So like seeing like all those girls like go into college and like just do like whatever the heck they want, and like that's like the party crowd or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the
And
guys are just there along for the ride, like, yeah, we'll party too.
yeah. Well, it's funny you say that, dude. My sister would be so mad because like whenever I was growing up, my sister always would complain that I would get anything I wanted. Like um I don't know, she was really mad about the fact that she got a cell phone in the 8th grade, but then I got it whenever I was in the 7th grade.
Bro, my sister too. And I had one of those like slide phones where you like texted and it had a keyboard and everything. And I thought it
Yeah.
was like that was when I was like a junior in high school, so like
Yeah.
2011. And I was like, this is the best thing in the world. I finally have texting. And it was like I was like a junior senior. And then by the time I think I was a senior or a freshman in college, I had a smartphone. And
Yep.
my sister, I don't think had a smartphone or a phone until like at least undergrad. Like
Yeah. That
she had
sounds
already
right.
gone through like maybe a year or two in
Right.
undergrad before she had a smartphone. So
Yeah,
like
cuz
she would come home and then be like, why do you have a smartphone? You don't even need a smartphone. What are you gonna use a smartphone for? She got so mad at me, and I was like, I didn't ask
yeah.
for it. I'm like,
Well,
I'm glad I have it. Like it's cool and everything, but like I didn't ask for it.
yeah, because my sister and I, we got iPhones, like our first ever iPhones, the same day. And
Yeah,
she's 3 years older, you
yeah.
know? So it's same thing. She was so mad that like she had to wait so long to get her smartphone and I'm getting it at the same time. But I was just like, that was the type of kid I was. Like I would, whenever we were younger, like my parents would get like Japanese snacks or whatever. On special occasions, and we would split them like 50-50, you know, and then I would literally eat all of my snacks in like 2 days, and then my sister would have all of hers still. And so then I would go and bug my mom and I'd be like, hey, Jenny's got all these snacks. Will you make her share with me? And then my mom would. And then I'd just
Yeah.
get more snacks. Or like for
Jesus.
instance, like whenever she was in high school, she always had a curfew of like, I don't remember what it was, like 9 o'clock or something. But then for me, it's like my mom didn't care as long as I came home like before bedtime, like before 11 or
But
12, or
you
as
probably
long
didn't
as I
even do
texted her.
anything. You were probably
That's
like
true.
you were
I was at
probably at
like
home at like 6 o'clock
Froyo's.
eating dinner and like not doing anything
No,
anyway.
I was I was probably like hanging out with friends or
You
something,
were
but
probably like going around on your little wheelie. What's the shoe that has the wheel in it?
Heelys,
Heelys, dude. I could so picture you in high school with some
I had
Heelys.
those.
Did you
I had
really?
those. I got in
Gosh.
trouble one time because I was riding around in a mall, like using my Heelys, and the security guard came up to me and he said, "Son, you can't skateboard in here." And I said, "What?" And then I just walked away.
Mm,
I figured it wasn't worth the fight to try to explain what Heelys were, you know?
dang. freaking, what are
But
they called?
that's actually,
Boomers.
yeah,
Okay, boomer.
okay, boomer. No, but I think that's the thing you said about girls in like just Indian culture is like that's like a big thing, right? Because I remember even my mom she used to say like, oh, your sister can't do this because she's a girl, and I'd be
Yeah,
like, why?
yeah.
I don't understand. Like when we go to India, like she had to take jeans, like she had to take
Dude,
jeans.
it's huge. Like you can't like show shoulder, you can't wear shorts, all that stuff's like looked on. I remember my sister was like, I don't care. I'm gonna do what I want. It's hot as
Yeah,
crap outside. It's like 120 degrees. I'm gonna wear shorts there. And I was like, you do you. I literally don't care. And
yeah,
like we would literally go around to like just see random things and like go eat. And people would just be like giving her the stink eye. And I'm like, why are they looking at you? And she's like,
right.
because my
But it's
shoulder's
because,
showing.
yep,
And I'm like, that is
exactly.
the dumbest thing I've ever
Exactly.
heard. Yeah.
We could make an entire episode about that. Let
Dude,
us know. Let us
Indian
know in the
people in
comments.
India literally are like the most judgy people ever in the
True.
world.
I've got a lot of stories about that. But hey, let us know in the comments below if you wanna hear us talk about how Indian people in India treat us Americanized Indians when we go to India.
Yeah, you think we're bad and we smell bad and we have like tech support skills and stuff. You should see the people there.
Where are you going with this? Oh my God.
I don't know, dude. That's like Indian what stereotypes, right?
That's true.
So
But going back to our topic for today, snooty Indian kids.
we just keep like
I
just
know, I know.
segueing.
But that's okay. What was I gonna say? So yeah, like when I started making friends in college, I had one Indian friend before I met you. And the only reason we became friends was because um well, we lived in the same dorm room and we're obviously both electrical engineers, so we had a lot of the same classes and stuff. But a big thing I think that he and I connected on, and the same for me and you, I think, um, was just the fact that I feel like we bonded over the fact that we didn't have other Indian friends.
Dude, it was
You know
like
what I
our
mean?
hatred, our like not hatred because we didn't hate them, but like our dislike towards
Yes,
hanging around with Indian
exactly.
people was what brought our friendship so close.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And like you said, we didn't meet each other until what, junior year?
Yeah.
And yeah, it was like instantaneous. We were like, "Oh yeah, I like this guy cuz he hates Indians." Again,
The
not
enemy of my
hates, but
enemy is my friend, right?
yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I should clarify. I don't hate Indian people,
I
but
do.
Nish and I connected because like neither of us are come from like a super wealthy background, and so we I don't know, we weren't like materialistic, I guess.
Well, like, and I think that's just like a stereotype, right? That I think if we took the time to find like you or me, like people like us, but in college, we would have found like and had more Indian friends, but like having to like dig through all like the people and try to find them was just hard. So we are like, screw it, we'll just like
Yeah,
find people naturally. And like I'm
right.
sure it's not like an Indian thing. Like people are gonna be like, yeah, but that's not
Right.
me. Like I didn't grow up like that. Like
You're
every
right.
group and every like race has it, right? And I think it's like, and I don't really think it has to do with like wealth either, because it's just like upbringing, right? There's a lot of people that or whose parents are wealthy, who are the most nicest people, down to earth
That's
people
so
you'll ever
true.
meet. But
That's
it's
so
just
true.
like it's just this like idea that I had in my head. I don't know about you, based on like whenever we would go out to like a wedding or whatnot, and we would see these like my parents' like cousin that's not really a cousin but you call a cousin or whatever, one of
Yeah.
those people.
Yeah.
And like we would meet their kids and like they're very well off, and like you would just try talking to them like things they like and whatnot, and they were like, oh yeah, like my like dad has a Mercedes and we go like this, that. I was like, I don't care that your dad has a Mercedes.
Yeah.
Like what do you like to do? And he's like,
Right. It's like
the horses out and stuff like that. I was like, I don't care. Like you're not helping at all. Like
yeah, it's like
we're like 14. Who gives a crap?
the things that they think are like important in conversation. And I think you make a very good point by saying it's not just Indian people. I think there's a big stereotype that a lot of Indian people are like that, but you're right. It's with like a lot of races. I know for me, like I've met plenty of people who are super wealthy, and then when I talk to them, I'm like, okay, I don't share any common interests with you
Yeah.
because the first thing you're talking about is how much money you have or how many Gucci bags you own or what are
Yeah.
other expensive
It's more
things.
so just like, let's just hang out and drink, and then we'll see where this goes, and then we'll do dumb stuff in college.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. But yeah, I don't think it was necessarily, I don't, even in college, I don't think I was persuaded or whatever by people having money or like having acting a certain way. I didn't even give people a shot. I was like, Brown, don't
Yeah.
even want to talk to you. I was,
Yeah.
and like there were people that I would run into that were like white, black, etc. that like I just didn't have anything in common with, but like I would just like disregard that as like, and I would go find another one. So like in hindsight, like I probably could have done that and had Indian friends, but I was just like too into my own like just like cone and like just tunnel vision, I guess,
Tunnel
in that
vision. Yeah.
sense. Yeah. To where I didn't even like give it a shot. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I think in college there were like, for me at least, there was three very distinct groups of what I thought Indian people were, right? The first group is kind of what we've already talked about of the kids that are really like snooty, always partying all the time and don't really care about anything other than having a lot of money. Then there was the group of kids who were like super, super focused on their academics because their parents are still like on their case all the time,
Yeah, like
you
you.
know? Well, no. I feel like I did care about my academics, but not as much as you think.
Dude, you literally said you got like a 60 or something on your first like engineering exam, and then like for the next one you literally studied for like 3 days straight for like an exam, like not even like a final or something, like a
Yeah,
dead
okay.
ass
So
just like an exam.
maybe I do fall into that category.
Yeah, just a little
But then
bit.
I was going to say the third category was me and you. We're a little bit more laid back and don't really just want to have a good time.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe I do fall into the super studious category.
Maybe like the first 2 years, and then you were like, screw this, school isn't that important. And then like when I met you, you were like, fun. You would
Maybe,
also
but
take you would also take like one shot of fireball and be done. So
y- yeah, sure. What's a shot? I don't know what you're talking about.
oh yeah, never mind.
I was I was yeah, okay. Gonna cut that.
No, you're not.
Um but yeah, man. Just I'm glad that there are more types of Indian people, I guess, than what I initially thought is because if you go back and ask like freshman year Jerome, yeah, I'm gonna say the exact same thing that you said. Like if they're Indian, I'm probably not gonna be friends with them. So I'm not gonna hang out with them. But I am glad that there's some people out there like you.
Yeah. And
And
there's also like a lot of Indian people that only want to be friends with other Indian people, which isn't a bad thing. But like
that's
I
true.
don't just want to be friends with Indian people. Like
I'm not gonna lie, I do think that's a bad thing.
yeah,
Because you're like staying very within the culture and there's like a certain type of upbringing, right, that you're just gonna get stuck in like a cyclical version of, and then you're never gonna expand your mind. You're just gonna, and it could be the same with any race, if you don't go outside of your comfort zone and like meet new people, you're just gonna have the same cultural thought process, I guess.
well, even then, I still think even Indian people nowadays are growing up in like an Americanized sense. So like I don't necessarily think just because they have like brown friends that they're gonna be like honed in on like all Indian stuff, you know? Because
Yeah.
like I don't think that I'm necessarily all that Indian. I have like American traits or whatever you want to call them,
Hey man,
right?
that's why we're barely Indian. The
There
barely
we
Indian
go.
boys.
Bib, let's go. But like, yeah, I don't think necessary. I don't think that just because you have brown friends and that's all you have, that you're like tunnel visioned or like you're zoned in on, and you're gonna miss out necessarily, and you're gonna be focused on like brown culture, or Indian culture, or whatever. But there are a lot of people that only want Indian friends, and I find that very weird because
Yeah.
there's not another race that I would say that only wants to be friends with their race. You obviously have like your group, like your cliques and stuff, but I always found that kind of weird.
Yeah, I guess that's true. With my parents specifically, I've never seen that, like my parents have always just whoever, they'll be friends with anyone,
Yeah.
they'll be friends with everyone. Um, but I don't know. You've sometimes said that like your parents are more comfortable around Indian people. So maybe it's more of just like a comfort thing as opposed to only wanting to be um associated with Indian people. Like there is a level of comfort, right, with like other people understanding like how you were raised and what your values and beliefs are. Like we've had that conversation a lot of, you'll start saying something about a situation and I'll be like, "Oh, well, have you thought about this?" Or, "Oh, you can't do that because what will your parents think?" And like it feels like whenever we have those conversations in like larger groups and there are other friends around, they don't really understand that. They don't understand that concept of like, "Oh, what will your parents think?"
I think it depends on the situation because like I have a couple of friends who are like obviously me and you have talked about it, but I've also talked about it with a couple other people, and I always get like a mixed response. There are some people that agree with like, yeah, I probably should do this, probably should see what my parents say, and then like there's people that are like, yeah, I don't care, it's my life, I'm gonna do it, you know. And
Yeah.
it's just like it's nothing like bad, right? It's nothing like I'm gonna go rob a bank or anything. It's just like small stuff. It's like even now I've seen Indian memes where it's like you're 24 years old, you have your own apartment, you're living in a city that's like 6 hours away from your parents, and
Yeah.
your friends are like, "Hey man, you want to go like out to the bar tonight or something like that?" And then they'll reply back with like, "I don't know, let me ask my mom." And I was like, the dude's like, "Dude, you're 24 and your mom's 6 hours away," and they're like, "And your point is." So I've
Yeah,
seen
I've
those
seen
memes
that.
flying
I've
around,
seen
and I
that.
always thought that was kind of funny and like
Do
kind
you
of
do
relate to
that?
that. No, I don't do that.
I This is kind of embarrassing. I feel like I did do that for a long time. Like
Yeah.
even when I moved into my dorm room at UT, um, if like I don't know what a good example is, but
I feel like you were very sheltered throughout high school, though.
that's probably true. That's probably true. I would ask my parents for permission for basically everything. Like
Yeah,
I'd be
I
like,
was
"Hey,
just.
is it okay if I drive to soccer practice?"
I don't think my parents are watching this, so I'll go ahead and say this. I'm pretty sure I lied to them most of high school to go hang out with friends and stuff. Because if I didn't,
Oh
then
my
I would
gosh.
have to work at the store every day. So like I would legit lie and say like, oh, I got after school practice or do something like that.
You've told me that you
Yeah,
said that you've got like band practice or whatever and then you would just
yeah.
leave.
And then I would go to my friend's house and we'd play video games all night.
Yeah, cuz they didn't let you play video games.
It wasn't that they didn't let me play video games. Is that if I didn't have school stuff to do, my parents would be like, "All right, you can go work at the gas station now. So like, come to the gas station."
Dang, how often did you do that? Like was it every day?
Yeah, it was like every day after school, but it was like normal, right? My
Until
sister
what time?
like 11 till close, like 11 o'clock at night.
When'd you do your homework?
I slept every day in school, dude. I went to West Tennessee. There was no homework. I slept
Oh,
every day in
what?
class. Remember we had this discussion?
Yeah, I remember you saying that your high school was garbage, but
Yeah,
you didn't have
exactly.
homework?
I mean, I had homework, but I like did it while I was in class in like a different class, you know.
Nice.
So,
And then you just went
but
back to the store and just
yeah,
worked?
but like it was normal. Like even when we lived in Iowa, my sister worked at my dad's hotel then, and she would work at the front desk and she would do her homework at the front desk. And when a customer would come in, she would like put her stuff aside and help the customer. It was like very
Hmm.
normal for us to while we were going through school to help out at the family business at like a ridiculous amount of hours.
I guess that's fair. Like if you have a family owned business, I bet a lot of kids probably do that.
Yeah.
Um,
A lot of my cousins can probably relate to it because like even
yeah.
now I have a cousin who's shoot he's probably like 28 and he's working from home because of COVID.
Yeah.
He's a computer engineer and he just he's like 4 hours away. His work is 4 hours away from his parents, so he's just living at his parents' house and he still goes into the store. He'll open the store and then he'll like do work stuff while he's at the store and doing both things at once.
Dang.
Yeah. So it's just like an expectation. And it's almost like you feel bad if you don't go, you know? Because you're like,
Yeah.
ah, God, mom and dad are working like because like all they do is work. They work like 12 hours
Yeah.
um, every day. So it's like, man, better go give them a break.
But do you feel bad though? Or is it just
Yeah.
because they tell you to?
No, I feel bad.
Well,
I
okay,
didn't feel,
maybe
obviously,
you're a better son than I am.
I didn't feel bad enough in high school because I was lying to them pretty much like I think there was a point like senior year where I was just like so tired of working all the time and not being able to hang out with friends that I told them like pretty much every weekend that I had a band competition, and then I would take my dad's car because I would be getting home too late, and then I would just like drive 15 minutes to my friend's house, and then we would play video games all night, and then I would drive back right before close and go
What
fill the beer cooler up.
what do you think would have happened if they found out?
Dude, this one time, I was dropping. We were all met up at a friend's house, and two of us were about to leave, and I was dropping a friend off, and he was like, "Man, I got to go to Walmart. My mom wants me to pick me up some milk." So I was like, "All right, I'll take you to Walmart, and then I'll drop you off home." I literally park. We go into Walmart to get milk. I see my mom
Oh
in Walmart,
no!
bro. I see my
Oh
mom in Walmart, and
no!
I'm like sweating. I'm like, bro, we need to get out of here. Like, this is bad. And then I get to the car, and my mom's car is literally parked 2 cars away from my dad's that I drove. And I'm like, man, how am I gonna like? What am I gonna say? And
Where did she think you were?
it was like a band competition or something.
Oh
So it's like
God.
after I get home, obviously, like I have to go back to the store because my dad
Yeah.
needs a car and give him a ride back home, and like we close up and everything. So like I don't know. That was the scariest time because I was
But
like,
she
man,
didn't
I'm caught.
notice?
She did notice, but I think I lied and said, oh yeah, my friend just needed to stop at Walmart to get some, like, which was the truth in the sense. And she was like, oh okay, yeah, that's fine.
Wow. What if she heard this podcast and she like knew it actually
Honestly, I have a
happened?
feeling like part of them knew, but they never just wanted to, they just didn't want to say anything, right?
Yeah.
Because like I don't know if they felt bad for having me work all the time. They're like, no, he needs to like go hang out with friends and like get away from the store or whatever. But
Yeah, I don't think I ever did anything like that in high school. And
that's what I'm saying.
if I did,
You
I
were
would not admit it
very
here.
you were very just like sheltered as a kid.
Yeah.
And I can see it just based on like how we were friends in college. Like you just never did anything. I like if
Hey,
you were
thanks,
to
man.
ask, yeah,
Thanks, man.
never
My
did anything
mom's gonna be
stupid.
so proud. My mom's gonna
Yeah,
be so proud that you're saying these things about me.
yeah. Except for that time you did like coke and stuff.
Yeah, Coca-Cola.
Nah,
That is a
I'm
joke.
kidding. That's a
That
joke.
that's a
Okay.
joke, just to clarify for everyone.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no, I don't think I did anything like that in high school because I think there was this one time when I think we would like me and some friends got together and then we did like a Where's Waldo type thing, like around the city. Like one of my friends had this T-shirt that made him look like Waldo, and we would just go around the city and like take random pictures. And then
Was it Maddox?
it was Maddox,
Hell
and
yeah.
and uh, and we were just like uploading these pictures to Twitter or something and being like, "Hey, where's Waldo?" And you'd find him. But it also like it wasn't even late at night. It was just like during the day. And I'm pretty sure like I just told my parents, "Hey, we're gonna go drive around the city," and they said, "Okay."
Yeah.
But also at the same time, like my parents. So I wouldn't call it sheltered, but I think I think they had like I don't know what the right word is because I wouldn't really say control either. Just like, so for instance, my mom's thought process was at least if all of Jerome's friends come to our house, then like I'll know what they're doing. And it's not like she was like watching us or anything. We would just all go upstairs and like do whatever it was that we were doing. Then she would be downstairs and she would like bring us a bunch of food or like cook for us and whatever. But her thought process was I would rather them be at our house than out at the park getting into trouble or something, you know?
Yeah.
And so I would say like almost every single weekend in high school, like there'd be a group of at least 6 of us at my house and they would like spend the night. Some of them would spend like multiple nights. Like Tristan, there were plenty of times when Tristan would stay the night Friday night and then Saturday night and then Sunday night he'd go home and we go to school on Monday, you know? It was just like a very common thing for me. But I think in doing that, like since we were always at my house, I was super unwilling to do things that were going to get me in trouble because I
Yeah.
was like, oh, my parents are right downstairs. You know, like sometimes, a lot of times, and again, this is a Maddox story. Sorry, Maddox, I'm gonna out you right now. But he would be like, he was super into like taking walks at midnight for some reason or like 3 a.m. And I don't know why, but he would always be like, let's go take a walk at 2 a.m. or something. And then all the other guys would be like, yeah, let's go on a walk. And I would just be like, no, I can't leave. I can't leave the
I can't
house.
leave my own house
I
in
was
like a very nice neighborhood where literally nothing is gonna go wrong.
yeah. I was like,
I
I
just
can't
can't do
leave.
it.
I was like, I can't do it. I can't leave the house, guys. Don't do it. And they would be like, no, 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 like it's fine. Like we're gonna be quiet. Like your parents aren't gonna know that we're gone. And I'd be like, nope, can't do it. You guys go. I'm gonna stay here and play Xbox by myself until you get back. And yeah, almost every weekend, that's what would happen. They would quote unquote sneak out of the house and then they would go walk around the neighborhood for, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes. And I would just sit there being like, okay, I hope they all come back and I hope my parents don't wake up while they're all gone.
I feel like that's a very easy thing to explain. Like, I don't even think your parents would have been like crazy upset or anything. They'd be like, what the heck?
Know.
I think it would have been more like they probably would have gotten upset because they were responsible for them. So,
That's
like,
true.
if while they were out, if something would have happened. But like I said, you guys were in a very like nice part, like nice neighborhood in Maryville
Yeah.
on a golf course. Nothing ever bad happens on a golf course
Golf course isn't there anymore. It's shut down.
because of COVID.
No, actually, it's actually gone. They
Oh.
they got rid of it. Couldn't pay
That's
for
weird.
it. Couldn't pay for it. But
Dang.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Should we wrap this up?
Yeah, we can.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching or listening to the Barely Indian podcast this week. You can get this podcast anywhere that you listen to podcasts: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or you can watch the ad-free video version on youtube.com/Jerome Vaz. So thanks for spending the last 45 minutes or so with us.
Hit the subscribe button right here.
Oh, yeah.
Right here.
Hit the like button down below if you like the video, or subscribe to the channel. Leave us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. So I think that helps other people find the podcast too. So
And YouTube, please, 5 stars.
YouTube. Yeah,
Let me
5
know
stars
if you
on
guys
YouTube.
like what I did with my room, because a lot of you guys in like were telling me like, "Hey, your lighting sucks."
Hey,
and
I
in your
for
room.
one, I
So-
for one think that your lighting looks much better this week, and
I
your
took my
room
blanket off.
your room is clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good. Looks
Yeah.
good. Let's keep it this way. Next week, I'll be in a different location. I'll be in Durham, so
That'll be
I might look a
exciting.
little different, but it will be exciting. So, thanks for listening to us.
Thanks for
Catch you
watching.
guys. I'll catch you guys next time.
Bye.